done one of these in a while, so let's get right to it. Actor Spotlight, Chris Evans, our first American hero. So to start off with movies Chris Evans has been in, the earliest one that I have seen, but not the first one that I have seen of him, would have to be Not Another Teen Movie. Chris Evans starred as the main character, Jake. I can't remember the last name, but he was a jock in high school, and his goal was to first get the most ugliest girl, the worst girl that they could pick, like that no one would want to date, to be his prom queen. Then, of course, he falls in love with her and all that stuff, and it's called Not Another Teen Movie for that reason. It came out in, I believe, it came out in 2001. It was a pretty good movie, I agree. I saw it with my friends. We've watched it a couple times because there's a couple jokes in there that we really find funny. So that's the first movie I've seen of him. The second one is, of course, a movie that people sometimes tend to forget, because Chris Evans was not only our first American hero as Captain America, of course I'm talking about, but he was actually the first Marvel superhero he ever was the Human Torch. Now, he was the Human Torch in the 2005 Fantastic Four movie. Now, again, this was another Marvel superhero. It actually does play into the role with the Avengers a little bit, but of course, because he has been that role, they'd probably have to choose another role if they were going to bring in the Fantastic Four into the Avengers series, because of course he plays Captain America, greatest American hero. So if we continue, in 2007 there was the sequel to Fantastic Four, the Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer. He again played the Human Torch, Johnny Storm, and he really was a main character, because in the end, he ends up getting all of their powers at once, and I thought that was a great scene to see him in, a great superhero, because not only was he the Human Torch, but he had the powers of the Thing, the Invisible Woman, and the Mr. Fantastic, and he's facing off against Doctor Doom, of course, their main villain. Now, I thought that movie was great. I thought that really topped the Fantastic Four, because the Fantastic Four would have to be my second below Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, but of course those aren't my favorite superhero movies, and I just recently rewatched the Fantastic Four, and I thought it was pretty good. So if we move on from there, the next movie I saw him in would have to be Push in 2009. And this movie was about sort of these guys having, people around the world having these superpowers, of course his being a pusher, or whatever it was, where he can shift things with his mind. Others would be like a seer, where they could see different visions of the future, as well as these guys who could scream, these guys who could transform, a shifter, these guys who could transform things with a guy was holding like a piece of paper that said 100, and he turned it into a $100 bill, just like that. So I thought that movie was pretty good. It's a pretty short movie, so I would recommend it if you guys want to go see it. I own it on my iTunes account, so I thought it was a pretty good movie. Continuing on from there, he was in The Losers. In 2010, this movie was great. It had so many good stars. I thought it was a great movie. Of course, he was my favorite character. I cannot remember the name of the character he played, but this guy was my favorite character. He talks about how, in the movie, he talks about his niece a lot of the times, because these guys are outlaws because they were falsely accused of a crime that they did not commit, but of course, this movie rolls into how they're trying to get back into the world, and this is what happens. They end up having to fight, and they're called the Losers. Obviously, the movie's called The Losers because they are the losers, because they have been falsely accused and have to regain their identities, and everyone thinks they're actually really dead. So this guy's my favorite character. Chris Evans' character is actually my favorite character in this movie. My favorite line would have to be when he goes, "That's right, bitches, I have a crossbow," and he pulls out a crossbow. So it's hilarious. A lot of his lines are hilarious. My real favorite line would have to be when he's pointing the gun at the woman is pointing the gun both ways. She's got both guns pointed out. One pointed at another main character, Clay, and one pointed at Chris Evans' character, except it's pointed kind of down, and he's screaming, "Clay, the gun's being pointed at my balls, Clay. The gun's being pointed at my balls." And Clay responds saying, "Would you rather be pointed at your head?" And he goes, "I know it doesn't make sense, but yes, Clay, yes I would." And so she moves it up, and he goes, "This doesn't feel any better." But that would have to be funny. Chris Evans is a great actor. He's always so funny. He played two really funny characters in Fantastic Four and The Losers. But then we get into a more serious character with Captain America coming out in 2011, and then The Avengers coming out in 2012. Now, this character was very serious. He plays Captain America. He was a very old-timey, serious character, and The Avengers was just amazing. He got even better than The Avengers. And of course, coming out in 2014, we have Captain America 2. This will be leading up to the Avengers 2, so we got 2 more years until, about a little less than 2 more years until Captain America 2 comes out, and we get to see Chris Evans again. If you guys want to see him earlier, I would recommend The Iceman coming out in 2013. I do not know anything about that movie, but that is the closest Chris Evans movie we have. What do you guys think of Chris Evans? I want to know. This is my third, I believe, Actor Spotlight, and I also want to know what you guys think of this series. I really haven't been keeping up with it, but it is a pretty fun thing to do because I like talking about different actors that I enjoy. Out of all the Chris Evans movies I just mentioned, he would have to definitely be The Avengers because there's no comparison, but it would be close seconds with, I think, actually the Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, because I loved him in that. And I want to know what you guys think. So tell me what you guys think of Chris Evans. Tell me what you guys think of this series. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.